pee. We're talking Dante Fowler's fight with his girlfriend and baby mama. We're also talking Michael B. Jordan reveals that he's going to remake the Thomas Crown Affair. Terry Crews tells us that he has a porn addiction. And Morgan Freeman is the new voice of Waze.
You are tuned in to Black Hollywood Live this week.
Hey, what's up, everybody? You're watching Black Hollywood Live this week. I am your host, Derrial Christon. We are going to be talking about the hottest topics today. And joining me is my dance team right now, Courtney Stewart.
What's up, y'all?
That was a little Janet Jackson Rhythm Nation that you was doing right there with the little formation Beyonce.
A little bit.
Also joining me is DJ Jesse J. You giving like the cool out, chill dance shoulder moves today.
Oh, yeah.
The chair dance.
The chair dance. Mm-hmm. We got a great show. I'm excited to be here. It is a leap year.
Yes, it
Which is crazy.
Isn't that weird?
Every 4 years?
Every 4 years.
Every 4 years. There's a lot that they say about
we'll
that.
Have 29 days.
29 days.
Things change. Things happen.
Things change. Well, things definitely change with this whole situation with Apple and the FBI from our Buzz Meter question, which we talked about last week, which was, should Apple work with the FBI? You guys voted. 69% of you said yes. And actually, said no, actually. 69% of you said no. 31% of you said yes. What do you guys think about that?
I mean, I assume that would be around a good. I would have been surprised if it was switched with the original 69 for yes, because y'all know, the government's shady. They don't need no access to anything else more than they already got. I'm sorry.
You know what's interesting too is that they have that movie coming out, Snowden.
Yeah.
And so Edward Snowden, who is based off of the movie, he was a former CIA agent who leaked a bunch of
the NSA,
leaked a bunch of not financial, but just like
that the government was listening
files
into y'all
that they were
phone
listening
calls.
to. But he says that he has a way that they can tap into the phone pretty easily. He said that they're acting like they can't do it, but they really can.
Yeah, that's what's crazy to me.
That's what it makes me like, what's really going on here, and why you want us to think that it's Apple's responsibility to make this happen for you. It just sounds sketchy to me.
And it was governmental files, not financial files, but governmental files. But we'll see what happens with that. But our Buzz Meter question for today is a topic we'll be discussing. Do you think that you have ever had a porn addiction? I would answer that question right now, but I'm going to wait till next week once everybody else answers that question.
We want to know now, or when we talk about it.
Sure, we can already guess.
Being that he didn't say no right away.
I mean, I'm not saying one thing or another. I just want to talk about it next week.
All right. Well, we'll talk about it when we talk about porn.
Well,
or that.
Speaking of porn.
This is the good porn, though.
Yeah, I mean, I really don't even know how to make this into a story other than this man. He is 23 years old. He is a realtor and a model, ladies. Donnell Blaylock Jr. So apparently every few months he releases like a random video of him doing something really sexy. And so this one was him washing a car.
And it went so viral.
And I was like, what is this story? And I click it. And I was like, I don't even really care if he's selling me anything, because I couldn't figure out if it was a commercial.
Yeah,
or what. I was just like,
I kept seeing it everywhere, and I was like, what?
So then I was like, wait, why are people going crazy? So then I went online and Googled him and YouTubed him, and he got him eating a Hershey chocolate bar. He was on Wendy Williams as the sexy garbage man. So he be out here doing it, ladies. You guys can follow him on Instagram at Donny_Savage22. But the best part about this is as I was looking him up, I saw an ad for A&E. And on March 10th, Thursday, March 10th, 9/8 Central, there's going to be a show called 60 Days In where they take 7 random individuals who volunteer themselves to go in jail. Undercover.
To go in jail. You know what? I had a friend who was supposed to do that show.
Are you serious?
Wow.
Yeah. That's intense. I could never. I'm like, why?
Yeah, but they get a lot.
Some.
If you do it though, you get a lot of cash.
Really?
Yeah.
I don't know about that.
But I'm good. I'm good.
And 60 days is a long time.
That's a long time.
Maybe like a week.
And you're in there with the community.
Yeah.
And you're in there with the community. You know. They treating you like everybody is treated.
Community.
I'm not.
I'm good. But you know what's interesting too about this story is that it's, as I was mentioning, obviously we know it's leap year, and he's been getting a lot of marriage requests and women just asking him out on dates. So they say that leap year is the time of year where women actually have been able to ask men to marry them. They said that this is like an Irish custom or tradition from back in the day,
that's cute
and
for
that
Ireland.
women are most likely to ask a man to marry him around this time. So maybe that's why there's such a influx of all these women.
Y'all better
that
watch
are trying
out.
to,
Y'all might be
trying to
getting
get
some
up on
proposals.
Who? From who?
All your fans.
I mean,
I'm just saying.
it don't surprise me because I remember the guy, the hot guy with the tattoos who got arrested.
Oh, the
and
guy
all
that
the
like
girls
his
were
mugshot, and
they're like, "We'll post your bail." I mean, at least this man is a young, 23 years old. He's
Doing
a
something,
realtor.
apparently.
Like, all right, yeah.
But they're specifically saying, you know, because of leap year, that there is an increase.
There's an increase.
Literally of women who ask men to marry them. So that,
Better watch out, Derrial.
Something in the air.
I
Coming.
don't think nobody want to marry me.
Sure.
Well,
We'll see.
so Super Bowl's
So we get
over,
some comments.
but the
YouTube.
drama. But the drama ain't.
The drama ain't over.
Jaguars defensive Dante Fowler apologized because TMZ had released this footage of what looks like him promoting his girlfriend, current girlfriend, and baby mama to engage in fighting. I watched the clip. Did y'all see it?
I did.
I would agree with that statement.
Yes.
Absolutely.
He
Yeah.
was definitely like.
I mean, he
jumping it
actually
on.
even kind of points
Yeah.
and then
Yeah.
steps back as if he is
Like he released a dog.
introducing
It was
the fight.
disgusting.
Yeah.
He came out with this. Someone wrote this apology for him. I am embarrassed and have apologized for my actions. As a family, we have been dealing with the moment and the conflict. This video is a reminder that emotions got the best of all of us, and I take 100% responsibility.
So what emotion got the best of him?
Well, I mean, if you
Pride.
watch the
Ego?
video though,
Yeah.
it could be, but I'm wondering what the conversation really was because the video does show him really having a conversation beforehand. It looks like he's having a conversation with both of them, and it almost looks like to my interpretation, looked like he said, forget it. Then y'all go
Just
ahead and
fight.
fight.
Yeah.
That's what it felt like to me. You know what I
Okay.
mean?
Okay,
So
fair
maybe
enough.
that is some things that he's just known about, and maybe he's been in the middle. I don't know. The NFL is investigating this case,
Yep.
and they say that there's several long versions of the video because they were looking. You know, everyone's very sensitive now because of the whole thing with Ray Rice.
Yeah.
So the NFL has to investigate this, but apparently Dante brought this to the NFL.
How was it on video?
Well,
I
they
don't
said
know that.
because this happened like in
It happened February 1st.
February
Yeah.
1st. He said that he brought the video to the NFL. Well, they're saying that that's what happened.
Yeah.
They're looking into it and that they're offering resources to the family. So.
Well,
Yeah.
I appreciate the resources.
But it's just interesting to me, the topic about the NFL commenting on the family sounded very similar to the same apology when he was saying that him and his family are working through it. I don't
Yeah.
know. Same PR.
I mean,
or
you know,
something.
listen, I believe that it's probably their PR, absolutely. But I mean, my man just got a $23.5 million contract, so that fight was probably going deeper than what we even know. And they
sure
say
it won't be the last of
It
this.
sure won't be the last. And they
Seriously.
say that the NFL, like I said, is investigating it, but he's probably not going to get any disciplinary action. I mean, he
technically didn't do
He didn't do
anything.
anything. And towards the end, it looks like he tried to pull them away
Yeah.
after he let them brawl a little bit. So
not illegal to watch a fight, I guess.
it is not illegal. And I don't know. I mean, well, yeah, it was a fight.
But some people are saying, like, okay, it's a lose-lose situation. Because say they start fighting, he goes in and grabs someone, she attacks him, and then he gets,
Sure.
a little,
Agreed.
so really
Then
what...
he would get. I mean, I think it's because he was sort of. It appeared
Yes.
that he was standing there, sort of. Not cheering it. I don't want to say cheering because it seems like a rough
There was
word.
one hand movement that
But
just
it was
really
very
looked
like he was. It'd be different if he was like, if we saw in the video like, oh, whatever, and he walks away, like he's exited the whatever, and they're just at it, and he's not involved. Then it would be like, oh, okay, he just ain't trying to get caught up and don't want to deal with nonsense. But to stand there and sort of seem to egg it on or whatever you want to call it, like it just.
Which, however many minutes into it, he did eventually try to pull
did.
it.
Yeah. And maybe they just, I mean, I'm not mad that sometimes people just need to go at it and get it out of their system and maybe they can be dealt
Just sucks
with.
it was on camera.
It just
Now you
sucks
gotta
it
deal
got
with
on
it.
camera
Yeah.
for sure. Yeah. It just sucks
Watch
all
where you
around.
brawl.
Ladies, Why y'all fighting over these dudes?
You know what I mean?
Stop.
If you want to fight, go to like the WWE or something, or maybe.
But see, you guys are assuming it could be about anything.
Like
It's
what?
the baby mama and the girlfriend.
True, you're right. Right. I tried.
What is it over, the baby?
Listen, I tried.
Oh my God, you had his baby and I didn't. That's still fighting over him.
Yeah,
you're
because
right.
I mean, it just makes me sound like Peter and Mina Tara from Love and Hip Hop. And speaking of Love and Hip Hop or WWE, whatever your favorite TV show is, make sure you guys head over to AfterBuzzTV.com. It's our sister site. We're over there talking about it. We have your favorite celebrities in. I'm really excited. We're going to interview the Housewives of Potomac.
Hey.
That's going to be big.
So check out AfterBuzzTV.com.
Yep.
Cool. All right. Thank you, DJ Jesse J. Courtney Stewart's next.
Oh, Lord, y'all. So, daytime talk. Super diva Miss Wendy Williams is in hot water again. She done said some stuff that some people didn't like, especially some women. And they blasted her all over social media and all over the news. And basically, this is in regards to the Kesha case that's going on right now. For those of you all that do not know who Kesha is or what the hell she's doing, basically she's suing Sony and her producer, Dr. Luke, basically accusing him of sexual assault and battery and saying that she's not actually dealing with that portion of it, so to speak. She's trying to get out of her contract with Sony.
Because she has 6 albums left to do.
She has 6 albums left to do, and she's saying the reason is because she, for 10 years, was sexually assaulted, drugged, raped, and all kinds of stuff by the producer, Dr. Luke, who she's under, and his label is on Sony. So she's on his label under Sony, and she claims that Sony knew all this information and they helped him cover it up, and that's why they were, party to all of this. She did not come forward before. I believe her statute of limitations ended because it was 6 years or something like that. So she can't really pursue him criminally. So she's going after it this way to get out of her contract so she doesn't have to work with it. Her argument is that, they're not going to promote her album if she does 6 albums. It'll ruin her career. Her career is probably already ruined. And basically, so on last week or whatever, the judge basically said, no, you have to honor this contract. And you don't have to work with Dr. Luke. You can work with other producers, but you have to honor the contract. And the issue, she says, with that is that technically Dr. Luke still makes money off of her if she's making those albums. So that's sort of the gist of what's happening with Kesha. Wendy on Monday was talking to one of her peeps during her Hot Topics, and the woman who was presenting the information about Kesha asked her what she thought, and Wendy proceeded to say the following, quote, "Unfortunately, business is business, and it sounds like it's fair. If everybody complained because somebody allegedly sexually abused them, contracts would be broken all the time. Kesha's no spring chicken. I mean, she's like 30 years old, so she wasn't stupid 10 years ago, and neither was her mother when the alleged sexual abuse started. Why weren't they rolling cameras on it?" So a lot of people took that quote and ran with it and said basically she's blaming the victim again. And it's, in that slut shaming sort of family of the woman, it's her fault if she didn't do anything about it, et cetera, et cetera. Lots of other celebrities have come out in support of Kesha. Taylor Swift sent her $250,000 to cover her legal fees.
Which was also kind of a little bit shady
Yeah,
because
it's a
Demi
little shade.
Lovato.
It's a little shade. That's another whole situation. Adele actually was on the Brit Awards, I believe, 2 nights ago, and she publicly supported Kesha. Lady Gaga has. And so Wendy got it hard, especially from a lot of women's interest websites and things like that. Lots of bloggers have sort of come down on Wendy and saying how cruel and horrible of a person she is and stupid she is for what she said. Thoughts?
I mean, it was a bold move by Wendy to say something like that in this situation because we don't know what the truth is. I mean, he countersuited. Dr. Luke had a countersuit against Kesha, and he's saying that, of course, she lied and all these things, and is trying to paint the picture of her not telling the truth. But we don't know the truth overall yet, so it's kind of a bold statement for Wendy, personally, I think, to make, especially because it is not in support of women, and these things do happen to women a lot, and there's lots of cases that aren't reported, but it's a touchy one.
Blows my mind is especially Wendy being in the entertainment business, and I mean most people are aware that with a lot of rape victims they don't end up coming out until how many years later because they have to they don't even know how to deal with it.
Yeah.
So that's weird for Wendy to have made that comment, especially being a woman in the industry, because whether it happened to Kesha or not, it is happening to some girl out there.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And she was young in the industry. Her mom was touring, so who knows what happened. I don't think she should have to work with this man. I also do think it's interesting that some of the artists supporting Kesha have also worked with Dr. Luke.
Yes, they have, but none of them have come forward to say that he has done anything. So it's funny because when I actually was watching Wendy when it aired, and as soon as she said the whole thing about why wasn't she rolling cameras, why wasn't she doing, I feel like I know what her intention was, and it wasn't necessarily to bash Kesha, but to say that you've now put yourself in a very difficult position. If you were raped, which we have to say if, because this man has not been convicted, there is no proof that this happened. If you were raped, because if you were in his position and it's not true, then he's being victimized also.
Right.
So do I understand that women are victimized all the time and like we should respect that on a level? Absolutely. But I think it's funny because I was reading a lot of the feminist websites and things like that, and it's interesting to me because I feel like as much as Wendy, the way she articulated it was out of line, not cool, I think that it's not anti-woman. I think it's only further proof how important it is to speak up when these things happen, as soon as they happen. And I know it's not comfortable. I can't speak for it. I have not been in that position, thank goodness. But when those times come, because otherwise it's just your word against his. And if we're standing on the outside of that, it's no more fair of us to believe you than it is to believe him.
That's true.
So I just, because there's definitely been people falsely accused of rape, and it's happened multiple times.
Lots
and
of
I
times.
actually do know somebody that was falsely accused of rape. So that ruined his life in another whole way.
Because there's no coming back from that.
Yeah, so I just, if it's happening to you, forget how Wendy said it. Figure out what you need to do to come forward in some kind of way so it doesn't happen to anybody else, and so that you get your due, whatever that is. And if you need to get out of a contract or you need to whatever because you can't work with this person, do your best to stand up for yourself. It's not easy, but it's possible. So.
Well, I also find it interesting that the court did deny her the fact that she couldn't get out of her contract.
Well, yeah, I mean, I think legally that is perfectly in line because he has not been convicted of any crime. So
But I would think maybe at least shortening the amount of time that she has to have those albums with them.
No, but I mean, she can work with any.
They said she can work with
Taylor Swift's producers. They're offering for free. They'll do albums.
The problem is that she doesn't want to make any more money for him. And which, if you're the victim, that must be absolutely awful.
And that's the thing.
And I get that, but that's
6
an emotional
albums
thing,
too,
and that has nothing to do with business. And if you were that concerned about the business, and this is going to sound harsh, so I apologize to all of y'all out there that are sensitive about this, but if you were that concerned about that portion of the business, that's only further fuel that you needed to come forward a long time ago and get this man put away. Mm-hmm. He needed to be put in jail, or he at least needed to be brought to justice in the best way possible. And I'm not saying that, oh God, you can totally do it, it's so easy. I know it's not easy, God knows. But sometimes people need to be willing to sacrifice your potential career. Maybe you're not gonna have a career this way, but if you believe what he did was wrong and it was not okay and you don't support that, you have to stand up for yourself.
You're right. No, it's just it's a tough one because
hard.
we don't know what the truth is,
and we will never.
We will never.
We will never. So it sucks.
Because clearly there's not a video to surface up anywhere. I mean,
but
yeah,
sorry. And Wendy, girl, I know you just be trying to talk, but you need to.
She might went a little too
word
far
it a little bit better,
especially when she put about the camera, putting the camera in.
She
the
was
hair.
well. She was like, men are stupid. Like you could, but at the same time. That's in that moment where you need to figure out, like, what can you do to make this stop and make him be accountable for it.
Yeah.
But, like, I mean, Wendy, okay, she go in there with a camera in there, and he sees the camera or does something and then kills her.
That was a stupid idea. I would report it to the police.
Yeah.
But I think the sentiment is...
Get help.
Go and get help and find somebody that can help you. And be willing to risk what you think. It may be your dream, but, honey, if it's meant for you, it's going to be meant for you anyway. Mm-hmm. And if Dr. Luke is doing the dirty, he gonna get his coming to him.
Drop a mixtape, girl.
You know?
It's 2016. Drop a mixtape.
It's gonna be okay.
You're right.
But good luck, Kesha. Wish you the best.
Luck.
It's a rough situation.
It's messy.
It's real messy. It's real messy. Less messy, all hot. So
look at that cheese right there.
My future husband / baby daddy, whom I would not fight for because he would just be with me. Michael B. Jordan, guys, got a new job.
He stayed working.
He stayed working. So Creed made all that money, and we all know that's going to be a franchise. He's going to probably do about 3 more of them movies, making hundreds of millions of dollars. Well, supposedly, rumor has it, he came with a pitch to MGM to remake The Thomas Crown Affair. And so it's basically in the early stages of development. They don't have a director or a writer yet, but he is set to star in The Thomas Crown Affair, where he plays a businessman that basically an insurance lady tries to take him down, and it's sort of like James Bondy / sexy dude getting to do something that definitely was a surprise, because when I saw Thomas Crown Affair and Michael B. Jordan, I was like, really?
Yeah.
And so I think it's an interesting turn, and he's getting all grown up and whatnot and wants to do something a little different.
Well, I would like to know what the story is too, because this is the third one that'll be made. Because the first one was 1968 with Steve McQueen.
Yes, which is awesome.
And then the second one was 1999 with Pierce Brosnan. And they both had, at the time, dynamic leading ladies, or what was considered the sexy Faye Dunaway and Renee Russo. So what I would be curious to know is who his leading lady will be, and if they would make her African American, or would she be non-African American as well? That's what I'm curious about. And he's kind of
I'm not going to say that. I'm going to be real.
No, say it. I would know what you got to say.
No, because my first impulse is like, of course she's not going to be black. Like, no.
But I don't know.
But maybe we'll get shocked.
They gave him a black girlfriend in Creed.
We'll be shocked and awed. But that's Creed.
I know. I might be reaching a little bit with that.
I mean,
but I'm just
saying. It might. I'm not gonna. I didn't want to say it out loud because I want to be positive and bring positive things into existence. So perhaps it will be a very sexy black chick.
And what I like about him is that he is really changing the standards and dynamics of Hollywood, in the sense, because this is his second time or third time, even if you sort of consider Creed, or probably who would have been initially the star of the movie, but Fantastic Four, he was Human Torch. He was the African American who played the non-African American traditional role. This is the same type of thing, and I think that's an important standard that we need to acknowledge as well. Because we talk about the negative stuff so much, but Michael B. Jordan is doing his thing.
I think he's definitely like pulling a Will Smith move. He's not being sort of stuck in because he got his star rose really when he did Fruitvale. Yeah. And if you guys know on what was it, Parenthood, he sort of played the urban boy that's sort of not like whatever, and then Fruitvale was like a very similar thing. And I mean, it's arguable to say that Creed is a similar idea, so to speak, in terms of persona, but to sort of it's like making a leap to being that leading man in the sexy film, and I love it.
And Fantastic Four. I mean, and I just love the fact that he brought this to them
as an idea, and that they were like, let's do it.
See, we are writing out there. We are doing things. The game is changing.
Go ahead, Michael.
Go ahead, Michael. We got to get you up in Black Hollywood Live.
We really going to be checking for you because, Thomas Crown be having like little romantical scenes and stuff. And
you just want to see those abs. That's what you want to do.
Take her shirt off.
Both of y'all.
I'm hoping we get like a Meet Joe Black scene. I don't know if you remember that movie, but
some cheeks.
I love you.
Wait, she put the cheeks up.
She knew exactly what moment I was thinking from that movie. I want to see that from Michael B. Jordan.
Just some cheeks.
Y'all are in sync.
We're okay with that.
All right. Well.
Also, okay, if you want me to make out with you in the movie, I'm good with that too. But anyway,
maybe you want to play a gay character one day. I'm here.
All right.
We can make that work. Whatever.
I see the excitement in the room over here. And on that note,
just a whole bunch of chocolate daddies all over the show today.
Yes.
Y'all are funny. On that note, we're going to move on to our EUR Web Story Spotlight of the Week.
EUR Web Story Spotlight of the Week.
Well, this man stays working as well. I mean, I guess Michael B. Jordan may be taking a couple things from this man, Mr. Morgan Freeman. Hey. Again, he has another job. Not only did he have the job as playing the Vice President Trumbull in the new up-and-coming London Has Fallen. He is now the voice of your GPS local system, Waze, where if you go in there, you can have, for a limited time, Mr. Morgan Freeman's voice directing you and telling you where the hell you need to go.
Yes. He sounds like he don't care.
Wait, did you guys download it?
I did. I can't even lie to you because I had originally on mine Arnold Schwarzenegger. And I obviously changed it for this.
That's really weird.
No, I thought it was cool because it's a weird. It sounds weird too when he's giving you directions, and it's a little slow sometimes. By the way, you need to adjust that because sometimes you're supposed to go right, and they tell me a little bit too late.
Yeah,
but that's a different subject.
I'm not a big Waze fan.
Yeah, it's a different subject.
But because of this.
But this is great because not only is he, right now doing this, but he joined some very other big celebs that have done it in the past. Darth Vader included, Mr. T.
Yes.
And several others, and currently currently right now there's 50,000 users that use Waze currently, and he's doing his thing. Now, I had a chance to sit down with him earlier last week where we were talking about a variety of different things, including diversity and just kind of his new movie, London Has Fallen, which is excellent. You definitely got to check it out. And here's a little clip of our conversation. This movie is getting so much buzz, and there's so much action in this, but there's also a lot of thrills to this. What do you think people's obsession is with terrorism in films today?
We've all, when you're terrified, you're almost totally alive.
That's true.
You know? So I think I will never, ever forget the first scary film I saw.
And what was that?
It was King Kong. It was the original King Kong. I was 6.5 years old. Wow. And I could only watch it like this, you know? So, and in an audience full of people who are screaming and reacting viscerally, you've done something. You've gotten to them. Yeah. So every time, even today, now, with the sophistication that we have and going to the movies, we got televisions in the house all the time. If you can make a film that puts people on the edge of their seats, I think you've done something.
A little clip right there of the interview, and obviously, as he was talking about just some of the scenes that are going on in London Has Fallen, that movie definitely was terrifying in a lot of ways because it's about terrorism, and basically the world leaders meet together for one of the prime minister's death, which you find out is actually a setup from terrorists, and Gerard Butler's in it with Angela Bassett, who I sat down with as well, and they're trying to save the president from being killed, and it literally is a strong thriller. So I recommend everybody to go see it. And also download Waze if you haven't, and get Mr. Freeman's voice on your GPS and let him tell you where you need to go.
Waze for a little while.
That's right. That's right. So that comes out March 4th, so check that out. All right, we're going to move on to our final story of the day, which is, I would say it's positive in a lot of ways.
I think it's very positive.
Oh, yeah.
Very positive.
Serious conversation.
It's a serious conversation that probably many of us have had or need to have. It is about pornography in the industry. And we obviously live in good old California, which is the prime of most of that industry. Well, Mr. Terry Crews has recently let us know and revealed that he had a porn addiction for many, many years. He has come out to tell us that he's been free from porn-free for about 6 years now.
Does that mean you're really not watching porn at all anymore?
Well, that's where...
Because addiction generally means you need to stay away from it altogether.
I feel like he's probably 100% off of it.
I feel like he is, because this is why, he had several different episodes of videos that he put on Facebook kind of talking about his progress and just the history of it. And I didn't realize he was such an activist about this as well after I started watching the videos and kind of reading more about this. But he basically said that when his wife found out, she pretty much was going to leave him, and that helped him kind of change. He said he had hidden it from his friends for many years and his wife. No one knew that he was addicted to porn because he said it's something easy to do, because when you're watching porn, you don't have to watch it among anybody else. You can sneak away somewhere and watch it. And so he was talking about that, but he said his main reason for going to rehab was not to save his marriage as much as he loved his wife. He said he did it for himself. He said he just felt like he really needed to make this happen. Last year he put out a memoir called Manhood, and he talks about just kind of his crusade with Dylan and everything, and just kind of some of the life changes that he's had with it. He also teamed up with a Mormon anti-porn group. Their message is porn kills love, fight for love, because one of the things that Terry is promoting and saying is that porn destroys relationships. He says that as much as it is enjoyable for people to watch, it also can destroy your life. And so what do you guys think about him coming forth and kind of talking about it and putting that issue out there? Because it's not, something weird for people to have an addiction to.
I love it. I think it's a conversation that nobody would ever be bold enough to come out and talk about. I think that it is a serious problem for many other reasons versus just relationships. I think for young kids, especially now, we see it's so easy for these kids to get this. Yeah. And they're just watching it, and they have this high expectation of what sex is supposed to be, and so then they start wanting it at an earlier age, just wanting to explore things, and the people fight for two ways of it. They say, well, if you're looking at porn, then you're not out there, doing it and all that stuff. But it becomes an addiction. And I think that, it creates laziness. It creates so many problems within young little kids. And I think it's a great conversation. I'm glad he's talking about it. And I'd like to see who else would come out and have this conversation.
Yeah, I mean, I guess it's kind of impressive because he sort of passed it. It's not like he was in the midst of his addiction and like did something crazy and then it came out, so then he had to like deal with the press. So he sort of came out with this on his own after he sort of worked through it. He never had to say anything and nobody would have known or thought any of the wiser. So I think it's cool that he's talking about it because it'll help somebody and bring light to something that people kind of don't really talk about. It's like, oh, it's just porn, it's fine. But because of how accessible it is, it definitely has relationship effects on children and the sexualization that we have done of children, because it's not easy to protect kids from it or not as easy as it has been in the past. Like if dad had magazines, like could hide his magazines or whatever. But now like kids...
I mean, kids are videotaping
it's on your phone.
Honestly, I was playing a game
oral
on
sex,
my phone, and it
having sex,
popped
everything.
Up. I'm like,
yeah.
What?
Yeah.
On a kid's phone app. I was like,
So and it just means parents have to be that much more diligent about what their kids have access to on their phones and sometimes parents don't even know, like, oh wait, you can get it this way or how, like through this app, and like you don't know. So I think it's a conversation that's well worth having.
Do you guys remember like when the internet it had first kind of came out, like Net Nanny, and like they had all those locks for kids, and whatnot? It's so interesting that those have gone extinct almost. I never hear people talking about applying that.
I think there's still some
children
there.
Privacy controls for sure. Yeah. But I think it definitely. I think you have to really know what's going on and how to do it. And I don't think a lot of people are fully aware of the scope of what they should be doing in terms of dealing with the net and getting it away from kids and what have you.
Well, I also think now we're just in a culture where everything is just fast paced. Everybody's on their cell phones. Kids are getting cell phones at an earlier age. I think it's harder probably to manage the process a little bit.
Yeah.
And this subject, I'm really glad that Terry brought it to the forefront, but I think that there's a healthy balance that needs to be done with porn, because I don't believe
Derrial does not want you to take all
I don't want you to take away
away
all the porn, okay? But no, I'm just saying porn can also be resourceful and useful in a relationship and spice some things up and whatever, and can contribute to the healthiness of a relationship and keep it non-boring.
Like watching porn together. That always intrigues me that couples do that.
Watching porn together, sure, absolutely.
Because I feel like if a guy is to sit there, what was that movie with what's his name, Gordon Levitt? And he was
the one with
the
Scarlett
porn addict. Yeah, the porn addict. Yes, I can't think about it right now, but yes, it'll come to me. I saw that movie.
I mean, we saw with that in the relationship, it was like when he would jerk off, and it's true, when you jerk off, you don't. Don Juan, yes.
Yeah. Don Juan. Thank you, Mark.
When you jerk off, you don't. You're good. You don't need that sexual release, and so it's like with your partner, as females, they require sexually something different, and you ain't meeting it because you sitting over here looking at ladies.
Well, there's also female porn versus hardcore porn just for men. There's if guys need to indulge in ways to satisfy their lady, there is porn out there for them to do that.
Yes, there is. And the funniest thing though is if you've ever read the comments in porn. Just
he reads the comments. He ain't watching.
I ain't. No, honestly, it's so. But that's what scares me is you really realize that people just be on here. I'm like, wait, why are you guys talking about this?
Because they watch it all the time. Because it's right there. Like
right there.
You don't have to make any effort
like
to
Facebook.
See porn.
Yeah. Be on there like Facebook.
Most of the time, you have to make effort not to see porn.
Well, I mean, here's the thing. But
TV is porn
I was going to say
at 8 o'clock.
Well, that's what I was going to say. Argumentatively, we could say that TV is porn.
Yes.
Scandal last week. I mean, just regular TV shows.
That's my porn. I'm a softcore girl.
Reality TV shows. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I mean, it's like, okay, I'm surprised that porn actually at this point is such a big deal just to download it, because you can watch it on ABC and CBS and NBC. And
well, some people want to see the details a little bit more, which is what they end up doing. And
there was a new law that just came out with porn that they now, I think, are not required to have to wear.
They changed it again?
There's something that changed with condom usage. I'll have to find out what it is
last year or whatever that was, a year and a half ago, they made it so they were required to do it.
Is it different state by state, though?
It may be.
I would
There was
assume
something that I just read.
probably.
I'll have to get more detail about it
'Cause
before I
that was a
speak about it.
California
But
case.
Yeah, that's what.
it was some change with it, with condom usage. But you know, that's a different subject. But I'm happy for Terry. You know, this is one of the statements that he made that I also wanted to read when he was talking about the internet. He said, being on the internet allows you to keep it a secret before you might have to go search it out or go look for it or go to a strip club.
Yeah.
But this is a secret. No one can see you. So, you know, I guess that's kind of how it is.
I mean, you know, whatever works.
Whatever
if
works.
If you feel like you
Floats
need
your boat.
help, maybe you should go get some.
Yeah.
If you can't turn it off, ever, maybe you should go get help.
Yeah.
Talk to somebody.
But I did read that
she's
masturbation is
nasty.
good once a day. I have read that. It keeps you
I've also read that it'll make your hand fall off, but does that mean it's true?
Well, that's
I was like, girl, where you going? Because my shit's still tight.
on that note.
That's another show.
That's a different show. Maybe we can talk about that a little bit more once we find out from you about the buzzer meter question, which is, do you think that you have ever been addicted to porn? We briefly talked about it today.
Yeah.
Maybe we'll reveal a little bit more next week once we
Daryl's
find out.
answer is obviously
Find
yes.
out about you. No,
Just
I'm not
see
saying
Reed's
yes.
comments.
Well, you know,
Courtney's only actually seen one porn in her life.
Really? How old were you?
yesterday.
18, 19?
Yeah, I was gonna say.
Yesterday.
No. It was like in college, like a real porn.
Yeah.
Because like, you guys are gonna laugh. Why are we talking about this? This is not a part of the
Because
conversation.
it just needs to be out there.
It needs
Well,
to be out
no,
there.
like the first real porn I saw was in college, and I was like, oh my god, they actually like show it like going, it would gross me out, and so I never wanted to see porn again.
So
I thought
it didn't
was
do it. It didn't
disgusting.
turn you
I'm
on.
so
at all.
mad you were
I just thought it was
surprised that that's what
disgusting.
they
I mean,
were
I
gonna
don't know
show.
what I
did
thought
you
it was
think?
gonna be. Like, I mean, because you grew up trying to sneak a look at Cinemax and stuff like that, but like that wasn't on Cinemax.
Well,
So,
they
like,
also were like movies back then. Like,
Yeah.
there was like long intros and like.
Yeah.
all I know is
I was about to name a title.
Fireballs is the first one I
Emmanuel
saw.
goes to space in porn. You know, that kind of exotic stuff.
that turned me off for like life. It's sort of like when I ate pumpkin pie because somebody told me it was sweet potato and I discovered it wasn't. I was so disturbed I can't eat pumpkin pie anymore. That's how I feel about porn.
Yeah, that would.
I'm
Yeah,
grossed
that
out.
would kind of ruin it.
Can't do it.
Well,
And there you go.
and there you go. If fans want to find you and have more conversations about porn or what porns you've seen, where can they find you?
You can find me on Twitter and Instagram as Stewart Starlet, and there will be no porn there.
Jesse, where can people find you?
You guys can hit me up everywhere at DJ Jesse J and JesseJanedy.com.
You can find me at Derrial Christon on Instagram, Facebook, and everywhere else, Twitter, and also on Walking Dead on Sunday nights on AfterBuzz TV. Once again, thank you guys for joining us for this week, and we will see you next week.
Bye.
From executives Kevin Undergaro, Derrial Christon, Tiana Hobson, and the entire BHL staff, we would like to thank you for supporting Black Hollywood Live, the first online broadcast network dedicated to African American entertainment. For questions and comments, contact us. info@blackhollywoodlive.com. Like us on Facebook, tweet us, or Instagram us at BHL Online. And I am the official voice of Black Hollywood Live, Scipio, Instagram me at KingXOBay. Thanks for tuning in.
Hollywood redefined.
The views expressed here are those of the host only and do not necessarily reflect the views of BHL or its owners or principals.